Hello everyone, welcome back to this episode of Bitcoin Trade. This just came in. I guess I gotta show it. So some new guidelines, I guess. This one is whether a company that offers secured transaction service to a buyer and seller in a given sale of goods or services is a money transmitter. So like an escrow, for example, um, similar to, I guess, like what local bitcoins would be. So short answer is no. Okay, so but read it and find out why, and why some would be considered and others would not be considered, because there's something in there that they put in to make sure that there's a difference between how you distinguish one from the other. Because there's another example they give where you can do the same thing, but you would be considered a money transmitter. Whereas you could do the same thing, but in a different way, and you're not a money transmitter. So, what can I say? You just read it. And it's confusing, but just read it. And then there's this one here. To this question, let me see here. Application of money service business regulations to the rental of computer systems for mining virtual currency. And short answer is no. Okay, no. And yes, there's some. Just read it, all right? Just read it. The thing about all this is that it in some ways doesn't even apply to me at all. Just for the simple fact that under this particular guideline here, they mention user specifically. So from what I've read so far, it seems like anybody who's doing it for their own benefit, no matter what situation they're in, is basically exempt from any transmission or money. I mean, I could do all of these. From what I've read, I can do all this. I can rent my computer out and say that I'm renting my computer system for mining virtual currency. Technically, I can. I mean, that's kind of crazy. As far as this one right here, and they specifically, I think it was this one. They mention a natural person or a legal person. All right, now, and I found that very interesting. Whether you're a natural person or a legal person, there is a legality to saying a natural person or a legal person. So that's kind of interesting that they put that in there. They worded, but again, I can do this. I could do this. Because I'm also the user for it. I can do all these. All these apply to me. On top of that, I am the user and the miner. I mean, it's crazy. But anyways, more guidelines, but they seem to fall in line of everything I've seen and am doing, because there's already situations where this happens right now. Like, well, they kind of explain it. So read it. All right. That's all you have to do is just read it. And oh yeah, don't forget to understand what the hell you're reading too. So, anyways, I want to do this first, and then I'm going to go on to, hold on here. I'm going to go on to, yes, okay, Legend. So I got some comments from my videos here. It's kind of weird because I called out for Legend X9 to actually make a comment, see if he's still around, and look who made a comment. Isn't that amazing? So it's one crazy day, but I've gone from more FinCEN guidelines, rulings, whatever, to Legend X9. And now I'm going to get into something else, but let me just go over some of the comments he made. Mining always adjusts to price. Really, it is not all that relevant, and in fact, when price drops, it only squeezes out inefficient miners and keep the efficient ones with cheap electricity and powerful, I don't know how to say it, ASICs afloat. I have seen estimates that KNC Bitcoin farm can stay profitable even at $200 per Bitcoin. So I've heard the same too. I've talked to some other miners, and they mention $100, they mention $200, depending. I guess it kind of changes, because if they're reinvesting into their mining operations, I guess the price would kind of go up, maybe. I'm not sure. Maybe it'll go down. But you think the difficulty rate supposedly makes it harder, so I don't know. In any case, there's a comment from him on that, and then there's another one. Let me see if I can find it here. Excuse me. Okay, on my most recent video, if you remember this video where I talk about the invisible hand, right? And so let's see what Legend X9 has to say about that. And he says, "Hi, James. Nice to see you are still making these videos. Haven't checked in a while. I agree with you that there is something special about Bitcoin." Now he's calling it special. I call it the invisible hand. I have been following and trading it since 2012 and really haven't seen anything like it in my life. I sense that it will become very big in a few years, but for the time being, I suspect this year may be a long downtrend year, or a stagnant one, in order to shake out early adopters and make Wall Street buy in cheap before they hype it up next year and make huge profits on it. So, interesting theory. So, great comments, but I wanted to see if, now I'm coming straight from FinCEN ruling to these comments, and now I'm going to jump straight into PAX. So this would be example, if I had a PAC and I wanted to make it known that I'm out here and I'm looking to contribute support for or against a particular, well, candidate or ideal candidate, you know, all I have to do is, I wonder if I can do this. I just put a video out and say, hey, any candidate that supports whatever, you're probably gonna put out an ad, you know, let the candidate put out an ad saying what they support, and then maybe I'll see the ad, and if I like the ad and I believe that's what this particular candidate or ballot or pending law or whatever is good or bad during those election times. You always know when they come around because you see the annoying election commercials, but they're there for a reason, because that's how a PAC and a candidate can communicate with each other. Now, this was just a small example of how you can do that with YouTube. Okay, instead of paying millions and millions of dollars in a TV commercial, if somehow you can broadcast your own personal message the way you want it to do it, this is how you can communicate via a social medium. Now, from what I read, I think that's how you can communicate with each other supposedly, uh, and maybe support a candidate, support a ballot, support an initiative, whatever, lobbying, I, I don't know. This is all new to me, so I'm kind of having fun with it. But look what it did. I got Legend X9 to respond. Isn't that crazy? I don't know. Is this the invisible hand? This is craziness. Matter of fact, I had a meeting with my attorney, and we spoke about a lot of things. A lot of things. I did mention the spaceship. Okay, I'll tell you that much. I mentioned the spaceship, and I think he has a sense of how crazy I can get with some ideas, but he answered my question. Like, I wanted to know, are there is there such thing? I mean, is there any laws in outer space? Apparently there might be some space law, but it's pretty open, I guess. It's kind of like, unregulated. So if there is a truly possible best chance to go to a complete unregulated market, my best bet is in outer space. Now, outer space can mean a couple things. It could really mean outer space, or it could mean just some place where it's just what they call, quote unquote, international waters. This is crazy. These are some crazy ideas, but whether I'm in international water or outer space or really outer space, I think the one in outer space is more crazier than international waters. But I did mention it before in my previous episodes, if y'all have seen it, where I mentioned a spaceship, like really in outer space, better than the space station they got up there right now, like a real spaceship. Anyways, fun stuff. So for me, this was a perfect example of how I can communicate over a social medium and somehow get a message out. So a message out came. It happened. Isn't that incredible? So just want to go and share that. But let's take a look at some charts now. Okay, now we're getting back to the charts. So here we go. All right, so let me just take a look here. If you know what I've been up to, if you've been watching, you'll see where I got all these lines. And so it just seems to be following this downtrend. And I'm glad Legend X9 made a comment, because it is on this very hard downtrend. Although it's kind of broken out several times, it just now I think it's just ranging here. We'll have to find out. If it breaks down further, then it is a very long downtrend, very tough one too. But if it stays within this range, it just means it's stabilizing now, and it could go up or it could go down. So in either case, you gotta, if you're in it, you gotta trade it. So you gotta trade it down or you gotta trade it up. I have many stops all along down here, just waiting to be hit. And like I said, if you're averaging it by smaller amounts but smaller spaced, that way you're just averaging as it goes down. So that's kind of what I've been doing on a downtrend. Uptrend, I have been making possible breakouts. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. But if I do it right, I might take a chance on one breakout and have all these other buys if it doesn't break out. So I'm averaging my cost if it goes down. if it goes up, then I'm making money or gain or Bitcoin on this one hit that broke out. So, um, and how do you do that? Well, here's how I um, have been doing it. So, but other people have different ways of doing it. There's many ways of trying to play a breaking up. Okay, for example, like this. This is a breakout. So what? Here's how I do it. Just because it just, you know, on a downtrend, you never know when the breakout's going to happen. So, but when it happens, it kind of sucks when you miss it because it's a pretty nice gain, don't you think, from here to all the way up here. So what I usually do is I follow um, the high as it's going down, then pops back up, and I would have some kind of buy at this price. Um, you would either have to wait for that price to reach this high and make a buy, or if the exchange has a stop buy, and meaning that if it goes above, you can set a buying price above where the current price is. So what I usually do is I just keep it here until I see it go up again, and then if it goes down, then I'll move my buy right here, and then if it goes up and then goes down or stalls a little bit, I'll usually wait because I need something that goes up and then down again, or up and then down and up again. So this looks like it might have gone and it goes down again. Then you move your buy order right here, and then it goes up and goes down, and then you move your buy order here, and then finally it breaks out. And then, you know, it just breaks out again and again. Stop right here though, but you can see how if you just follow, I don't know what they call this, but it's really good on a downtrend because you know, on a downtrend the highs are lower than the previous highs, so they never really hit unless they're going to break out. That's another way you can do things. I've been doing that. I've been taking advantage of some of those situations, but sometimes you lose out because it can hit and then it'll just stop right there, and it'll like if for some reason you did this right around here, for example, and it went up, then it crashed down. It kind of sucks, but that's why you put your average buy orders on the way down. That way it limits some of your losses. So when it goes up, you can breaking even's not that hard. If it goes above that break-even point, this times 4 or 5 or 6 bitcoins of the 8 or 10 bitcoins uh, that you have you would make a gain, if that makes sense. I'm sorry. Anyway, so this is Bitstamp, and that's kind of what it's doing. Um, here's that support. Let's see if it ranges. Let me see. And this is a Bitsy. Different story, different lines, but pretty much saying the same thing. But I see something interesting here is that you're getting to a level where it started breaking out again here, and it's been hitting on the bottom of this downward support. So Bitsy could be, Bitsy is always different. It tells me it could be a possible chance of breaking up again and just ranging, because I just think it's just going to range for a while. And then here's a Bitfin, and similar but a little different. I mean, this is supposed to be already broken out here, and maybe it's just waiting to break out again. And then Coinbase. These are all 6 hours, and this is just Coinbase, really simple, but saying this, pretty much saying the same thing. Now I'm going to go over some of this right here. This is just Bitfin, and it's just looks like it's just wiggling its way up. Anyways, let's go on to Bitstamp. Okay. Oh, there it is. Same thing. Looks like it's losing a little steam here at the end here. See, as these kind of things get smaller. So, and then Bitsy. Let's see what Bitsy has to say. Same thing. Similar. But let's take a look at this one. And ooh, my goodness, it's red. So without even knowing anything about charts, if you looked at this, what would you do? You'd probably sell. But at the same time, knowing that, you know, trading is a lot of psychology involved. So, ironically, you want to be sometimes doing the opposite. While people are selling, you want to be buying. And when people are buying is when you want to be selling. Whichever way it works for you. But you can get some good deals when people are in a panic sell. So when you see this, just think maybe a lot of people out there are worried about the value of their bitcoins, or feel that it's getting too risky. It could be. It definitely could be. But to get your money out, I mean, you can do several ways of doing it, but if you really want your money, you know, supply and demand comes into effect. So, but if you were smart, you would realize this is great buying. Just on a smaller level, you don't have to buy 1 or 2 or 10 bitcoins at a time. You just buy 0.02 every $10 it moves up or down. You know, you got stops, you got limits. Not all exchanges, but most have at least limits. I mean, all you have to do is just follow the limits up. If you're selling, you got to follow the limits going down, your sell limits. So, anyways, I guess I'll keep this one short. As far as my last few episodes, let me here, hold on. Let's go back to Legend X9 here. Thank you for responding, by the way. Appreciate it. I'm glad you're still watching. And, you know, you say it's special. In what way? I mean, is it like what I've kind of mentioned in my previous video, where things are just happening, and you're compelled to do things? I don't know. You've been trading since 2012. I've only started since November. Just barely started November. Really started trading heavily around January. Anyways, I was just thinking, sorry. Anyways, this concludes this episode. Hopefully all of you enjoyed it. Feel free to comment, like, dislike, or even leave a video response. Until next time, stay tuned. Bye.